Trump appears to be backing away from a traditional US security commitment to Taiwan in public rhetoric, yet the American military is quietly preparing for a possible high-end conflict scenario in the Western Pacific. The US Air Force is readying its B-2 stealth bomber to carry up to 16 AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missiles, turning the aircraft into a penetrating, ship-killing platform capable of striking enemy fleets at long distances across the Pacific. In a Taiwan war contingency, the United States would be positioned to use stealth jets to secretly bomb Chinese naval formations, employing B-2S and other low-observable aircraft to target Chinese ships while minimizing exposure to advanced air defenses. This major upgrade to the B-2S arsenal is seen by some analysts as a potential game-changer aimed at deterring or, if necessary, blunting any large-scale Chinese attempt to invade or blockade Taiwan. US military planners are actively studying how to stop Xi Jinping's navy from choking off Taiwan, exploring distributed anti-ship fires, stealth platforms, and long-range missile networks to raise the cost and complexity of any Chinese maritime operation. With the new weapon configuration for the B-2, the US military appears to be quietly positioning itself for a potential Taiwan war scenario, signaling that planners are thinking hard about how to hit Chinese forces at sea if a crisis erupts. The US Air Force has discreetly modified the B-2 Spirit so that it can carry long-range anti-ship missiles, turning the stealth bomber from a primarily land attack platform into a powerful threat against enemy fleets operating near Taiwan. According to defense reporting, the B-2 can now carry up to 16 long-range anti-ship missiles, RASM, on a stealth strike mission, giving it the ability to penetrate dense defenses and launch a concentrated salvo at Chinese warships far from US shores. Details of Washington's newly upgraded B-2 jets were laid out in a recent analysis by 1945 on July 10, highlighting how this configuration fits into broader US efforts to adapt its long-range strike assets for a possible clash over Taiwan. Arming a stealth jet with heavy anti-ship firepower is a big deal for Taiwan war planning, because it adds another layer of survivable, long-range strike capability that can threaten Chinese naval formations even inside their own defensive envelope. For Beijing to invade or effectively blockade Taiwan, China must command the Taiwan Strait and surrounding sea lanes, using its Navy and Air Force to control the flow of ships and cut the island off from outside support. A jet that can slip through Chinese air defense networks and target military shipping directly undermines that control, forcing Chinese commanders to worry about surprise strikes on key task forces and logistics convoys. Mating RASM to the B-2 is therefore not just a minor tactical upgrade but an operational and strategic shift, giving US planners a stealthy, high-end anti-ship punch that complicates China's calculus in any move against Taiwan. The People's Liberation Army has spent years building anti-access and area denial webs, layered missiles, sensors, aircraft, and ships, designed to keep US forces at arm's length long enough for China to secure its objectives. China's goal in this A2AD architecture is to slow US reinforcements moving from Hawaii and the US West Coast so that its own forces can act quickly in the opening phase of a Taiwan campaign before Allied power fully arrives. This anti-access concept is specifically crafted to delay the full US joint force from linking up with units already stationed in Japan and elsewhere in the region, buying China time in a fast-moving conflict. A stealthy, long-range B-2 plus RASM strike option cuts into that time calculus by giving the US a way to hit critical ships and sea lines early, even while other forces are still flowing forward, thereby stressing China's invasion or blockade plan. Meanwhile, Taiwan has been conducting its own missile drills in the face of the Chinese invasion threat, practicing how to use coastal and air-launched weapons to hold off PLA forces and signal readiness to resist a maritime assault. The drills feature the first large-scale operational evaluation of FIM-92F Stinger missiles, fired from multiple launch platforms under realistic battlefield conditions. The exercises tested frontline air defense units against simulated attacks by low-flying aircraft, helicopters, drones, and incoming cruise missile threats. Soldiers tracked, locked onto, and engaged aerial targets under simulated combat conditions to validate their battlefield response and engagement procedures. FIM-92F Stinger missile. Guidance. Passive infrared and ultraviolet heat-seeking guidance locks onto an aircraft's engine heat signature without radar support. Role: man-portable short-range air defense missile designed to defeat low-altitude aerial threats near frontline forces. Targets: effective against aircraft, helicopters, drones, and low-flying cruise missiles during combat operations. Launch: can be fired from a shoulder launcher or integrated onto multiple vehicle-mounted air defense systems. The latest exercises included shoulder-launched, vehicle-mounted, dual-mounted, and helicopter-integrated Stinger missile systems operating in coordinated live-fire scenarios. Stinger launch platforms. Shoulder-fired infantry launcher, portable system allowing frontline troops to rapidly engage low-flying aerial threats. Avenger Air Defense Vehicle, Humvee-mounted launcher carrying 8 ready-to-fire Stinger missiles for mobile air defense. Dual-mounted Stinger launcher, pedestal-mounted twin launch system providing greater sustained engagement capability. AH-64E Apache integration. Apache attack helicopters can carry Stinger missiles for aerial self-defense and air-to-air engagements. Officials said the combination of different launch platforms strengthens Taiwan's layered short-range air defense network against multiple aerial threats. Military officials said the Stinger provides point defense for troops, air bases, command posts, and other critical infrastructure against low-altitude attacks. Taiwan's layered air defense. Upper layer. Patriot and Skybow air defense systems provide long-range protection against aircraft and ballistic missiles. Lower layer. Stinger missile units create a point defense network protecting frontline troops and key military installations. Mission. Designed to defend combat forces, command centers, air bases, and other strategic military facilities. Advantage. Infrared guidance allows engagements without relying on continuous radar emissions, improving battlefield survivability. The drills came as Taiwan continued strengthening its defenses against the PLA's expanding air power and growing missile strike capabilities. The exercises also highlighted Taiwan's growing focus on mobile, survivable air defense systems for operations during a high-intensity conflict scenario. China tests a nuclear-capable ballistic missile, underscoring Beijing's efforts to strengthen its expanding nuclear triad. Beijing's growing nuclear arsenal highlights its push for more balanced land, sea, and air-based deterrent capability. As tensions over Taiwan persist, China uses a high-profile missile test to send a strategic military signal to Washington and its allies. The Pacific missile launch puts the United States and its regional partners on notice as Beijing showcases its long-range strike capabilities. China's submarine missile test has sent what analysts describe as a strategic signal to the United States and its Asia-Pacific rivals. Analysts said the launch appeared to be aimed more at deterrence than at testing a new generation of missile technology. The test publicly showcased China's sea-based nuclear deterrent for the first time since a similar launch in 1982. Type 094 Jin-class submarine. Class, a nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine, SSBN, built to provide China with a continuous sea-based nuclear strike capability. Displacement, estimated to displace around 11,000 tons while submerged, making it one of the largest vessels in the PLA Navy submarine fleet. Crew, operated by an estimated crew of 130 to 140 personnel, responsible for navigation, combat operations, and strategic missile systems. Strategic role, forms the backbone of China's sea-based nuclear deterrent, supporting Beijing's second strike capability as part of its expanding nuclear triad. Estimated range, more than 10,000 kilometers, giving the missile the reach to engage targets across intercontinental distances. Mission, designed to carry out long-range intercontinental nuclear strike missions as a key component of China's sea-based nuclear deterrent. Reach, reportedly capable of reaching the US mainland from launch positions in Chinese waters, reducing the need for submarines to sail into the open Pacific. Significance, represents China's newest generation of submarine-launched ballistic missiles, significantly strengthening the credibility and survivability of its sea-based nuclear deterrent. The launch marked another significant step in Beijing's effort to build a fully operational and survivable nuclear triad.